hope wherever you're watching us from, you're having a great time. Now, one thing that happens most of the times is that when people go to elections, they have certain things pushing them to vote for a particular person. For example, Donald Trump got his presidency because he talked about issues that majority white nationalists felt it was closer to them. He talked about economy that was cross-cutting for everybody. He talked about making America great again. So right now, it seems his policies for making America great again are really hurting people, and everybody is not happy about what they are seeing. So whites have come out and they're saying, enough is enough, Donald Trump. We can't continue eating or absorbing the heat of your policies that are hurting us, yet we just sit down and say that we voted for you. So there are certain people who have complained, and I came across some of the clips that I'm going to play for you here. Let's watch this, then come back and share our thoughts.
Majority of white people that said this is enough. We are standing up, and it's our time to do for others, to do for those that have been standing behind us for so many years, and the white people. And I'm not an emotional person. I don't cry. I don't get emotional. I'm emotional right now because I feel for the first time ever a sense of hope to know that every white person out there is not racist, that not everybody supports Trump, because I'm here in Tennessee and that's how it feels sometimes. But today when I looked at those protests, I saw the streets lined with all kinds of people, but the large majority of white people that said this is enough. We are standing up, and it's our time to do for others, to do for those that have been standing behind us for so many years and that have faced so much injustice. Black people have been fighting for years and nothing comes of it. Nothing. They're exhausted. Hispanics can't leave the house. Anybody with brown skin is afraid to even leave the house. So to know that we cared enough today means we're moving in the right direction. And I hope we see this continue, that we stand by our brothers and sisters and fight for them and let everyone know this is not okay.
The Black community has long suffered under the weight of systemic racism and discrimination. As white people, it is our responsibility to use our privilege to support and uplift the Black community. Here are a few ways that we can be better allies. Listen and learn. We need to listen to Black voices and experiences without interrupting or dismissing them. We should educate ourselves on the history of systemic racism and the ways that it continues to impact the Black community today. We should seek out resources, books, and documentaries that help us understand the issues. Next, speak up. We should use our privilege to speak up against racism and discrimination. We should challenge racist comments and behaviors, even if it's uncomfortable. Silence that which perpetuates racism. We should support Black-owned businesses in our communities. We should advocate for policies that support economic justice and equity. Donate to Black-led organizations. Financially support Black-led organizations that are working to address systemic racism and inequality. It can be done through regular contributions or contributing to certain campaigns and initiatives. We should also use our platforms for good as white people. We have access to platforms and audiences that the Black community may not have. We should use our platforms to amplify Black voices and perspectives, raise awareness about issues affecting the Black community, and promote positive change. Be open to feedback and learning from our mistakes, as we will make mistakes along the way. But it's important to acknowledge them, apologize, and learn from them. We should be open to feedback and willing to change our behavior and perspectives as we continue to learn and grow. Being a better ally to the Black community requires a willingness to listen, learn, and take action. It requires us to use our privilege for good, support Black-owned businesses and communities, and speak up against racism and discrimination. It's up to all of us to work towards a more just and equitable society, and being a better ally is an important step. If you like the content and benefit from it, give me a follow.
This is going to be a follow, unfollow, or block me type of a situation. And if you don't like cussing, this is where you want to click off. I keep seeing these videos from former Trump supporters about how they regret their vote and they've woken up. And then I keep seeing all these videos from independents and Democrats that we should be welcoming and be kind and be understanding. Let me say this with my whole fucking chest. Fuck no and fuck you, and here's why. I don't forgive you, and I never will. And this is where most of you are going to click the fuck off because you don't want to hear the hard truth. This isn't about one policy or one mistake, the way you're trying to make it seem. This is about a man who ripped the soul of our nation in half. While you stood by in a MAGA hat, he poisoned our culture. He mocked, bullied, and threatened anyone who didn't swear absolute loyalty to him. Like a fucking dictator. He stoked a rage inside of people that gave fascists and racists permission to come screaming out of the fucking woodwork. But that wasn't enough for you. You voted for him not once, not twice, but 3 fucking times. Now you want back in because something finally touched you? Because now your rights, your family, your life is somehow threatened? You didn't care when he said he was going to carry out mass deportations. You didn't care when he vowed to dismantle our goddamn government. You didn't care about the environment, women's rights, civil rights, or even fucking democracy itself. Simultaneously called yourself a fucking patriot. You didn't care about honor or decency. You supported a man who was brutally unkind, who hates the poor, hates anyone that's not white. You called yourself a fucking Christian while supporting it. You watched this fucker orchestrate an insurrection, but that wasn't enough for you because you still showed up. Now, when the flames are licking your fucking porch, you want to come stand behind our shield? Same fucking snowflakes you've been mocking for a decade? Now we're supposed to welcome you? You put the bullets in Trump's gun. I want you to stay regretful. I want you to live in that discomfort every motherfucking day. The same way that every person you voted to hurt is gonna live in it. You don't get applause from me or from anybody on my side for pointing out the fire when you lit the fucking match. Don't come to us for comfort. And damn sure don't expect trust. Because 4 years and a better Republican candidate, your ass is gonna vote red again. And even if you do vote blue, do not think for one goddamn second that you voting blue in a future election erases the fucking hatred and destruction that you have unleashed on this country. We don't need you to feel better about yourself. That's not our job. We need you to make it right without asking for absolution. So no, you will never get absolution from me or anybody like me. You will get spun around and pointed at a fucking mirror. You will get it from yourself by showing up every goddamn day to undo the damage that you have done. By confronting your own community, by speaking out and standing up against the same spineless piece of shit politicians that you supported and helped put into office. You want to unfuck this nation? Earn it. With your actions, not your fucking words.
I gotta disagree with you, ma'am. You guys should watch our video first, and then come back to me. You don't want to block people out. A divided nation will fall. We had a civil war once. It had more casualties than any war other that we've been in. I don't want that. Blocking people out means they're going to just watch more Fox News. Instead, have a dialogue. I have several MAGA followers that are still following me. I'm sure some of them got rid of me. But I have several who follow me, which means they hear me. I want them to turn off their Fox News. And they're listening. It doesn't mean they turned off their Fox News, but maybe they considered it. They're thinking about it. That's where the dialogue is useful. See, if I just block them out, then they don't hear nothing but Fox News. Is that what you want? Like, if I say immigrants actually commit less crime than native-born citizens, they might listen to me. They might go look up the numbers. But they're not going to do that if I block them out. Because that is factually accurate. But they're not going to know that unless we're having a dialogue. So I don't believe that the correct answer is to block them out. Because I don't want another civil war. That's the worst war we ever had. Cousins killing cousins. We don't want that. It don't need to be like that. We can recover this, but not by blocking them out. But by welcoming them back in. Sure, they'll still be Republican. That ain't going to change. But being a Republican is fine. Back when the Republican Party was normal. But blocking them out, you're building the bridge to civil war. I don't fucking want that.
Go watch her full video. I agree 120%. All of the, I no longer support Trump. Pound sand, you desiccated turd. No. I will never forgive. I will never forget. The MAGA GOP bullshit has obliterated what was once a semi-okay country. The world is now laughing at us. All of these over-entitled Americans, America's greatest. No, we're not. No, we're not. Trump and Trump's policies and all of the bootlickers who are following him have ripped everything to shreds. So, never forgive, never forget, fuck off.
In the advancement of racial equity, one of the biggest opportunities that you have that I will never have is, as a white mother, white moms, talking to y'all, you have the opportunity to raise culturally curious, culturally competent, culturally dexterous children in a way that I never will. And why is that so important? It's important because what happens in white homes around discussions and experiences that give kids before they're 18 a chance to really understand difference, people who are different from them, your nurturing that is critical. Why? Why is that so critical? Because they're going to be learning a lesson either way. Society will tell them what people who look like me are or aren't, and that narrative will be like a drum beat. It is very consistent at this point in our lives together because it's just been the way that we've all been conditioned. So we leave our parents' homes with some sort of understanding of self and our understanding of others. That's our job as parents. And so what your job is as a white mom uniquely, is to make sure that your children have an understanding of how to behave and maneuver and position themselves in an ever culturally multi-dimensioned world. They will be inheriting a world where Black and brown people are the majority. And so when I think about like what happens in adulthood, and you hear lots of stories about how people who look like me, Black women specifically, Black people, brown people, work as an example, just kind of the workplace just wreaks havoc on most Black and brown people. It's because we oftentimes encounter or have engagements with or are led by white leaders who have never had any kind of consistent, persistent experience with people who look like me. So what they're bringing are the narratives and the presumptions that have never been checked by their families before they were adults. So now they're sitting up in somebody's DEI training class, or, you know, how to be culturally fluent and how not to have microaggressions and whatnot. And now we're in the place where we're undoing all that society has kind of attached to them. I want you to think about racism and sexism as like these sycophants that just attach. They just attach. Your job is to get them off. Your job is to get them off. Now, here's the good news. You're not alone in that pursuit. You're not alone in that pursuit. And so I'm really excited that we have a book coming out that's going to be helping parents of young kids ages 4 through 12 really navigate these spaces. 100 days of activities and experiences, things to do, things to say, things to talk about, places to go. This is going to be a really, really great resource, and I'm so excited to tell you more about it in the days to come. But for now, moms, know that help is on the way.
I think that I speak for a lot of people who look like me, unless you are virtue signaling or have blue hair. And if you do, then keep scrolling. But for the rest of us, we're exhausted. We're exhausted with the rules of the things that we can and can't do. And we're tired of hearing white women, like, dear white women, who's perpetuating what? We're just exhausted with it. You can't have our hairstyle, cultural appropriation. Braids don't belong to you, sorry. And don't smile at us. When you're walking past us, don't smile at us. I will smile at whoever I want. That's just me. I smile at people. It's a cultural thing from when I was little. We were taught to smile at people, and that's okay. I mean, it's borderline, no, not even borderline. It's bullying. Just leave us alone. You don't have to tell us what you think about us. We don't care. Just leave us alone. I mean, it's starting to look like you are just obsessed with us. That's not a pretty look.
Basically, white apologists are starting to get fed up with, or let me revise that, white women and white people in general. I don't even think that this is just singular to white women. I think that white people are starting to get fed up with having to apologize for being born something that they can't control and embracing just being a regular everyday person, but then they have to sidestep every single issue in order to make other people feel good. And let's just be honest, it's black women. It's largely black women. You can sprinkle a couple black men in there also, but for the most part, it's black women. And so when you get up on these apps, if you scroll long enough and if you deep dive into a dark hole and your algorithm get fucked up, you'll start to see a group of black women that are basically sitting there trying to give advice on how white women are supposed to make sure that they accommodate them, or not to move a certain way, or not to wear cornrows, which I didn't even know that cornrows was supposed to be started by black people. I thought that wasn't started by black people, but I could be wrong. Let me know inside of the chat. But basically, I had been saying that people need to stop trying to accommodate. And you see it during the protests, you see it on social media, you see it in real life sometimes. Stop trying to apologize when you're not doing anything wrong. Now, I believe that each and individual person needs to be held accountable on their own merit. So if you're a good person and we rock out with you, and if you're a bad person, then don't rock out with them. But you can't just say dear white people or dear white women or something like that, and then expect to be respected by them. Where they do that at?
You know, I had an epiphany today. There are white people in this country that would rather see the United States of America go completely bankrupt and burn to the ground than see a black lady sitting in the White House. We've always had racism. It still is really sad. The one good thing that came out of this last election was that we now know in our friends and family who is fine with racism and the patriarchy and the bigotry. You voted for the most unqualified, morally bankrupt, bumbling idiot who is stealing money in front of your faces, and you're fine with that because he's white. And you couldn't vote for the most qualified black woman in the history of our country. She has more intelligence in her pinky than I do in my entire brain. 249 years, we still haven't voted for a woman. The MAGA movement is Make America White Again. They see the white majority in the United States of America going away, and they're going to fight like hell to try to maintain it. They're going to fight, and they're going to fight, and they're going to fight, and they're going to push back. And the reason that we're still having these conversations is because enough people that look like me haven't been saying what I'm saying right now, because we sat on our asses and did nothing during the civil rights movement, during Jim Crow, during segregation, during internment camps for Asian Americans. Doesn't affect me. I'm good. If you look like me right now, in this point in time, and you're still going to hide behind your privilege because your family member wasn't snatched up by an ICE member, because your family wasn't redlined, because your family wasn't picked up at night for being the wrong skin color, then you're complicit in all of this. I don't give a damn if you like it. I really don't. Silence is complicity. Throughout the history of the world and our country, bad people have gotten away with so many atrocities because good people stood by silently. There are a lot more of us than them. And these senators that are going to vote on this bill, this big ugly bill, they created Frankenstein because they ginned up their uneducated white base to say that your version of white America is going away. DEI, CRT, trans people, litter boxes, Dr. Seuss, Mr. Potato Head, Bud Light, Nancy Pelosi, her emails, his laptop. We can spend 3 hours talking about the things that scare you. But the reality is your version of white America is going away and it scares the hell out of you. Well, that's too damn bad. I shouldn't have privilege, but I do. And I'm choosing to do what's necessary. What we as white people should have done for the last couple hundred years. Use my privilege to say what needs to be said. It doesn't matter if the red team or the blue team sits in that White House. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because until this issue is resolved, none of this shit matters. None of it. Because that's what we're dealing with right now, is the original sin of the United States of America, white supremacy. It was designed in 1787 by plantation owners that owned black people like cattle, that designed it to benefit 21-year-old land-owning white men. You'll talk about the Second Amendment every day, but you'll be damned if you ever talk about the 3/5 Clause or Jim Crow or segregation, because you don't want to talk about history, actual American history. You want to talk about white history. Only the parts that make you feel like an alpha male. That flag that you worship, it's a symbol. You worship it as if it's a religion. But you don't give a damn about the people that the flag represents. I find it rich that every Sunday, you MAGA Pharisees, you fake Christians, go to church with your Joe and the Ho bumper sticker and your F Joe Biden flag because nothing says I love Jesus like that. So many people must be turning to God because of you. And you sit in church and you preach, my God is an awesome God, and love thy neighbor as thyself. But you only seem to love thy white neighbor. You voted for the most morally bankrupt white man that's ever walked on the face of this country. But the black woman was just a bridge too far because you didn't like her cackle. You didn't like her health care plan. What, she used complete sentences? She wasn't a bumbling idiot. She was educated. That intimidated you, didn't it? You want to know something interesting? I'm going to say what I'm going to say because it's true. If black women ran this country, we wouldn't be in this shit right now. We wouldn't. We'd be a hell of a lot better off as a country right now if they were. They're smart, they're intelligent, they're powerful, they're strong. And they put up with shit that you and I can't even imagine. Generation after generation after generation. And you still want to be a bigot and a racist and judge people by the color of their skin instead of the context of their character. You are the reason that America is not great. You are.
Yes, welcome back to the channel. Now, if you listen to the kind of comments that we have just watched from the videos, I believe that it is time Americans woke up and realized that they are elected because what Trump is doing, he has no regard for human life. He's implementing policies that are hurting even those who voted for him. I don't know what he wants to achieve with this, or if this is the way he's going to make America great again. Why on earth would you justify bringing policies that are hurting people who have been enjoying their life in the United States, and then you come, increase taxes on them and reduce taxes only on the rich people, and then you come and deport people who even are contributing positively to the American economy? For example, the Nebraska farmers who are crying that deportations that are happening are making their farms go without workers. How on earth would you explain that that is making America great again? Normal Americans are not able to go for those manual works because they feel like they are slow paying and they are kind of labor intensive. So they want to do other jobs. So these are the jobs that mostly have always been left out for immigrants coming to work on a lower pay. Now these deportations have made these workers to run away and they have left America. And America is struggling to keep up with the high labor demands that these firms are always requiring. So if you look at it from that perspective, you're able to see that Trump needed to just rethink his decisions. He might have been voted on the guise that he wanted a strict border policy, but then he must also look at what is happening to the American economy in the event that these workers are deported. Another issue is also the recent policy where the TPS protection for Haitians has been removed. So over 500,000 Haitians living in the United States are at a threat of being carried away and removed from the United States. How are people going to feel it at the end of the day? How are people who have socialized together, lived together, gone to school together, going to feel when they find that someone who is a nation who was employing them has been deported? They are going to remain jobless. So it is also going to be counterproductive to the entire American society. America needs to rethink their stand, and Donald Trump must do better and have an harmonious America where people, regardless of their skin tone, are able to live together and focus on growing and development that they can achieve together. Share your thoughts down in the comment section. And if you're watching us for the first time, please consider subscribing to the channel, like the video, and share. Thank you, and let's meet on the next one.